Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome back to Breakthrough. Mark Anthony Vita still here. What you saw was a little clip of our next guest. He is a singer, and he kind of came into the I would say the music scene, not late, but later than some. But we're going to get into that. Please welcome Mr. Joshua Goolcharan. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. Pleasure to be here.
Lovely. So, I'm going to get right into it. So, we were talking off air. Now, your journey into this whole music thing kind of started a little bit later, right? Mm-hmm. So, you're a student at U.W.I. You're entering into your second year certificate. And is it safe to say you're the oldest in the class?
Yes.
Hold on. Because I have been probably older than you and not the oldest in my classes. And I did daytime classes. I didn't do nighttime classes, right? I did daytime classes, right? And that was my first degree, finishing off my first degree. Let's not even talk about the second degree, right? So you're the oldest at what age?
26.
Yeah.
That's still kind of young for me to say that he's the oldest, right? But I guess for music...
Well, in his class, because remember, the certificate program is designed for straight out of CSEC.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, fair enough.
So he was, after he wrote CSEC, you were kind of in the corporate world. You're still in it.
Yeah, still in it,
a little bit. Yeah. But describe for us the scenario, the situation of where you decided to be like, you know what, let me do this.
Well, it's more for seeing my peers, well, of my age. They were graduating, getting their degrees in psychology and all that other stuff. Some were basically moving on to a different chapter of their lives, while I was just there at the desk for how many years now? Just doing the same thing over and over. So I was like, you know what? Why not I do something that makes me happy as well and move on into a different chapter. So that is when I decided to just jump into it.
But you're looking at your peers who did psychology degrees.
Psychology degrees and other ones that were just also in the arts as well.
In the arts, okay.
Yeah.
So is that the ones that did psychology degrees were also in the arts? Because there's a bit of a...
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Because there's a bit of a thing, sometimes that people that I learned from Mark, they're not sure what they want to do. So the serious half of their education would be the filler known as psychology, which that was new to me.
Though, it's a second and third choice. When you apply to you have to put in like 4 choices. I think it's usually like second, third. It's always a choice there for some people.
So, but the point is, you saw them kind of moving on in the arts. People who you knew, and they were trying to go forward, and you felt, because to be fair, there are a lot of graduates who are not in the arts at the very least, who might end up in the corporate world, and they'll feel stuck, just give it some time, right? So it's not like your situation is, whether we like to admit it or not, all that unique, but you saw this specific thing happening, and you're like, why not me?
Yeah. Why not me?
And there's something to be said about, when you see your colleagues sort of move on. You just kind of get left behind. I've been there as well.
I mean, trust me, you're still ahead of me, right? Let's just put that out. First of all, if we go relative to my timetable, you are still ahead, right? So don't knock yourself. But what changed? Because I assume when you started, you had specific needs to make the decision to go into the working world. So what changed for you to say now is the time? Is it that you just didn't want to regret not making the decision, not taking the plunge? Or did you feel as though, okay, now that I have working experience, maybe I have some savings, maybe I have something to my resume, so I could put a little bit of risk now, do the certificate, we're not all in yet. It's not like I'm leaving, because you're still working.
Yes.
You didn't leave your job to say, I'm going to do this music thing, just a small town boy living there alone. No, you didn't push all the chips in, right? So the house could take all your money. You did things, I guess you could say, I don't want to undersell it, you were reasonable, you did things in a practical way. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's a bit of both in this context, yeah.
So what mentally changed for you?
Honestly, I just wanted to do something that made me happy and make an income off of it.
Okay.
So, music, being a creative, is one of them.
Okay. I know for a lot of people, and these stories do exist, I know for a lot of people, the pandemic, COVID really sparked
Yes.
a lot of things.
Yes.
I'm guessing it did for you as well?
It did.
Okay.
It did
Tell us
spark.
about that.
That was, during the pandemic, it was quite an experience. So, during working hours, work from home, I would have Photoshop at the side. I used to consume a lot of photography content and all of other stuff,
Okay.
and take images, a bunch of different images, and compile them together to create an entire new scene. So during that entire process of creating it, it brought some sort of excitement. I felt like part of me, what they call the inner child, came alive.
Yes.
So yeah.
Let's not talk about inner child. Last time we spoke about the inner child, Sean started talking about his inner adult.
Yeah, I don't know.
Please.
Inner child. Listen, you are not living life unless you confine the curmudgeon adults on the inside and you allow your child to be on the outside.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So and it's so interesting that it wasn't actually music you were consuming, it was actually photography that you used to consume.
Photography, yes.
All right, so I guess that it sparked that creative side and you just were like, I guess you were fooling around, playing with Photoshop.
Yeah, but the obvious question, the switch.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So it was then that switched for you a little bit?
Yeah. During that time, I was also singing a whole bunch of different songs, and I recall having the gift or skill and wanting to grow those skills in terms of a career, say like, on the top of my head, composing,
Right.
creating. The whole idea of creating music
Okay.
is exhilarating.
Did you sing in any capacity before? Church choir, school choir?
Yes. When I was around like 6, my mom used to have all of my siblings, including myself. We used to sing a lot of gospel in church.
Okay.
And from there it was just straight up church, and then it just kept going straight into primary school, secondary school. I went to do parang.
Okay.
2 times in a row.
Okay.
It was quite an interesting
I'm
experience.
trying to picture Joshua in like a very fluorescent red shirt, singing choreo.
It was the choreography.
Oh, okay.
It was the choreography for me.
Okay.
It was interesting. And around Form 3 is when they decided to ask you certain questions where you wanted to do in your life, what career you'd like. And fast forward into Form 5, Form 4, somewhere around there, is where I was doing my SBA. And we had to create a composition or an arrangement.
So you were doing music for CXC, for CSAT?
Of
Right.
course.
Okay.
Of course. So the teacher told me to create either a composition. They gave me the entire layout of what I have to do. And during that time, I was consuming one of those film soundtracks from Spirit. It's an animated film of a horse.
Yes, Spirit of the Cimarron.
Yes,
something
yes.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty good. The whole idea of the song adding to the film was pretty good. So when it came to that composition, I had a whole bunch of ideas coming in, and that is when I started to delve into it.
Okay.
And, yeah.
All right, nice. So now we're here, you're entering into your second year certificate at the DCFA Department of Creative and Festival Arts.
Yes, for those that forget what that means, I totally did not forget what that means.
Him.
and all of the viewers who don't go TV.
But the first week of school is upon us.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to? Are you one of those people that would dread in school over the vacation, or are you looking forward to starting?
I was definitely looking forward to going back to school. Trust me. I'm one of those oddballs that likes to learn. My mind is constantly.
Were you always that way in secondary school as well? Because I was not. I only started to like it my second go around at my first degree. So by that point, I was past my 20s. Because I had work experience, so I was in a business degree, it made it more relatable, understandable. It was just, everything was just better. And I approached learning so much differently to when I was, in my teens and early 20s. Did you notice a difference? Because you had work experience when you started the certificate, right?
Yes, before, yes. So how I approach things in terms of learning is that I have to be okay or excited to know, being excited to know things or acquiring knowledge, or the saying goes, knowledge is power, or applied knowledge is power.
Right.
So that kept me going. Developing a growth mindset around in my late teens helped a lot, so yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, are you like me? I had no interest in school when I was an okay student, but I really didn't have any interest in learning. But until I got into UE, then because I was surrounded by something that I was not just surrounded, I was saturated in something that I wanted to learn about. So then did the spark just kind of like go into full force once you enrolled in UE, and you're surrounded by like these musicians, and get to share ideas, perform with each other, that sort of thing.
Oh no, the idea was definitely, the vision was there before I entered UE.
Okay.
So I just wanted to go into UE to grow those skill sets or get the experience in that field, so I could go out there and basically pursue that career path.
Right. Now, even though you have work experience, I think that puts you at an advantage, because I was also like one of the oldest in my class. Because I did sixth form and took a year off and all of those things. So I was older, but you have a little bit more life experience and a little bit more work experience, so that could also assist with your maturity, your discipline in certain things, right?
Communication skills.
Communication skills, because a lot of them are probably 17, 18, 19, and you see them doing things like, what are you doing? Have you ever experienced?
Yes.
When they like pull your classmate to your side, be like, don't do that, don't do that. So, but it's only been a year. What are some of the things that you've learned while being in the music program?
There's a lot more to rhythm. Being a singer is quite different for me. Rhythm is one of them. Sights again, never learned that before. Never learned that before at all. And being surrounded by different people that share different ideas about the music industry, different career paths. They would definitely giving me a broader or wider perspective on how many opportunities are available to me as a student. Okay. So it was pretty good.
Okay. And so, it's a point that I've made before. It's a little bit more difficult for singers, because a lot of singers don't play a musical instrument. So it's just a matter of having to remember what the song is. But when it comes to like reading the music and the rhythm and all of those things, you just have to remember your lyrics and remember that shade key, and that's basically it.
Because for a musician, a chord is something you can mechanically learn.
Yes.
Like you learn what the chord is, how to play it, and there's scales and there's ways to measure things.
And also I think societal expectation is a little bit different as well. Mostly if you're an accompanist or a pianist musician, they hand you the music and they expect you to extrapolate as you see fit. Whereas if you're a singer, they'll probably just give you just the typed out words, and you
Yeah.
just listen to the song and you learn
Although,
it that way.
Yep.
and I'll say this, and I've said this before, the environment changed a lot because
Yeah.
of all of the music programs now. It's not just UE, but also I do wonder if because of Gate, like it opened things up a lot more. Because, you know, a lot of these singers who I met from before, it was a more of an amateur space with regards to singing locally, right? Unless you were in soca or you went away, you did Broadway, worked on a cruise ship, stuff like that. It's very much an amateur space, you know, centered around the choirs, and a lot of people are essentially amateurs who do it on their free time because they have day jobs. They don't have the time to put in to learn all these skills, and there wasn't much of a good place to get them. But you being an older student now, and this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the skills, right? Like, did you feel any way realizing that you are older than the graduates of this program usually are, much less
Current first year students.
yeah. Because like you said, you know, these 17-year-olds, what are you doing?
I definitely got that question. What are you doing here?
No. I meant more like you being, you know, the old man. Like, I have lived a few more years, and I have never seen crazy that yet. Like, no, it has gone that far.
Okay.
No. That.
How did I feel? Yeah.
I mean, either way, both ways.
So my expectation, I was expecting more of a mixed demographic. So people of my age and younger and older. So, but regardless of the situation that I'm in, I was quite okay with it. I wasn't really bothered by it at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now, so you're there. So obviously experiencing you spoke about, you know, the different things outside of just being a singer. What are some of your, it may be a little bit too early, but hey, why not? What are some of your career goals for the future?
Because I would imagine you would have a bit of a plan, right?
Of course.
You're
An idea, a little thing that you can
probably more than the average student who's now coming out of school and doesn't know nothing about the working world and the reality of bills.
Yeah. That is very true. Wait, what sort of fields, or is it everything? Or anything specific?
I wouldn't say everything. It would be more of definitely performance is part of it. The part, what stands out to me most is being able to create music.
Okay.
So that would fall under composition or arranging.
Right.
For the performance half, that would just be music, or if I develop liking for an instrument during the period of my studies, definitely jump into that too.
But when you say composing, does that also include writing lyrics or just composing musical scores?
Musical scores.
Okay.
So orchestras and stuff like that.
Of course.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, yeah, you were listening to, what was it?
Spirits.
Okay, yeah.
A whole lot of that. Yeah.
They listen to a lot of Hans Zimmer and stuff like that.
Of course. Of course.
All right. Inception, Man of Steel.
I prefer Interstellar, honestly. That track is really good.
Yes, Interstellar. There's a fan on the other side of that camera. Just warning you. Right?
We know it's you.
Director, he can't tell you. But he was probably, in his mind, he's already like praying that you learn the piano, like one time.
Yeah.
Like one time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Hans Zimmer, that's a good, I would say a good example to follow, because his stuff, it's not just on film. He does his stuff in concerts. And it's one of the, it's the modern classical music, I guess you could say, you know. And if of all the composers, he's like up there. It's him, John Williams, and I can't remember who else.
James Newton Howard. He wrote a couple others as well. Quite a number, actually.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So your composition, singer, there may be some other hyphenates as we go along the
Yes.
way. We are all multi-hyphenated people, right?
Ever gonna go back to visual art?
Oh, interesting.
There's a possibility,
Okay.
like a backup plan or something, but not at the moment.
But if somebody were to put a camera in your hand right now,
Probably not.
Oh, wow.
But-
oh, no.
Because one of the things too, one of my favorite things is like, I fell in love, one of the things that I fell in love with Sting was when he did a concert on 9/11. So I actually I kind of like hunted down that concert because he didn't broadcast it. He just did one song in tribute to the events because it kind of just upended their whole day, right? And after that concert, then I also found his documentary when he started his first jazz band. And there was a lot of interesting choices on putting that film together. So it's like, yes, it's music, but then there's so much more to music about, you know, then there's the story behind the art, you know? And I think one of the things in Trinidad that we don't do good enough is to chronicle the story behind the art or the movements. You know, it doesn't have to be music now, it could be other issues, right? Or the athletes or the leader, the national leader, the national hero. We don't chronicle it well enough. And who knows, you know, I mean, keep a camera nearby, take a few shots every now and then, and you might have some.
Why not? A little bit. You know, you never know. Because we're all creatives on some level or the other.
True, true.
So you're going into second year, but we have a crop of first year students, both certificate and degree. But let's say the year below you, the first years now, come to your class and be like, we are eager to learn. What advice do you have for us?
Definitely to practice patience, self-expression, and give yourself some grace, have some school life balance, and I would definitely say find a mentor. It tends to make navigating through the entire industry a lot more smoother. Build a network. Don't be afraid to communicate amongst your peers. Make friends in the same field. If not, you could also expand. Just be friendly. Just be really friendly.
It's nice to be nice.
It's nice to be nice. That sounds very scary to me because going up and talking to people frightens me. I mean, I know I do this here, but like this is like prepared and stuff like that.
So before he was here, he was already in a position where he had to speak to groups of people at a young age. So I have no idea what he's smoking right now because that does not track with this gentleman who is sitting next to me. Right? I understand that you might be introverted and you're not comfortable, but you're well past the point of getting the tools to managing those.
I can do it if I need to. I can do it if I need to. But it's still very, you know.
Quite a challenge, yeah.
Well, so that's the next thing. Have you done live performances in front of audience since joining this program? Because I'm sure you might have done it at church and stuff before and Param.
Yes.
But since?
Yes. That was with the U.W.I chorale, only then. That, and also some other side projects.
Okay.
And were there any past experience that might have helped you deal with your stage fright? It doesn't have to be singing.
Yes. The experience did help in terms of finding more comfort in performing live. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I guess it helps when you perform with a group as well.
Yes.
Because I guess the question is like, are you introverted, extroverted? Are you comfortable in front of groups of people? Not comfortable?
It's a mixture for me. I'm more of an ambivert. So, yeah.
Really? Really, Joshua? Really, Joshua? Are you?
I could confidently say I'm more of an ambivert.
Let me tell you a little story.
It better be quick.
It will be quick. So as people I would have mentioned before, so this past academic year, I was the president of the U.W.I chorale. So obviously I'm addressing everybody as a group and say, you know, we have this first performance, this is what we need to do, white shirt, black pants, that sort of thing. If you're not sure, you can come to me and stuff like that. This one messages me. Now, if you're meeting someone for the first time, you'll be like, we've never spoken in person.
Yes.
hi, good afternoon. This is such and such from the tenor section or whatever. I just wanted to double check.
Yes.
He was like, hey, this shoe's okay? As if we're like pals since forever.
Well, to some extent, and he's not an introvert, right?
Exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm more of an ambivert. Is a bit. Is a mixture?
Actually, to be fair, my experience with you, Joshua, I could see some introvert type traits.
Yeah.
Some.
Anyway,
Some.
we have to wrap.
Not everybody's like you. You need to stop judging people by your standards. Because you do that in everything.
Oof. My final question, I will deal with you later. My final question that I ask all of the artists, how do you define success?
It would definitely be both the achieving the long-term and the short-term goals.
Okay.
So for me, that would be finally getting into UE.
Okay, that was a short term.
Bachelor program, I assume, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And holding on a job for more than 2 years, that's quite a feat for me.
An art job, an artist
or
job.
just a job in general?
A job in general.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, yeah,
okay.
being able to become independent on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anyhow, so yeah, it's
All
pretty
right,
good.
all right. Nice. Joshua, thank you so much for joining us. It was great. It wasn't so bad. You see, it wasn't so bad. Live TV is not bad at all.
I have to say, folks, one of the better dressed individuals, and that's saying something because we've had some very well dressed individuals on this set. So that suit does look, simple, but good job. Good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
And now we're going to throw to a clip. Trinidad and Tobago, thank you so much for joining us. Sean,
Yes.
thank you as always.
Sorry, what?
Thank you as always.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I will deal with you later.
I will, okay? Anyway, here's a clip of Joshua performing Pure Imagination. Many of us would have known these songs from our childhood. This is Joshua Goolcharan performing Pure Imagination. Take care. Bye-bye.